Campaign Africa commemorates the 60th anniversary since the formation of the Organization of African Unity.
I see colors. There's a rainbow up in the sky, shining bright. There's a rainbow up in the sky. There's a rainbow up in the sky, shining bright. There's a rainbow up in the sky. Come and see the selifikile, la lizwe la lilingiwe, ke palipinde lihlukanyiswe, ngeke liphinde santela. You see with this building a sun nation lapha, futhi full of wonder, a spectrum of light, breaking colors, black through white light, spinning rainbows straight from the ground.
Hello everyone, my name is Joshua Kwaku Asiedu and we are here in the beautiful hills of West Africa, Ghana. In this channel I will show you my off-grid living in this self-built eco-village. Let's go. All has been self-built with the sporadical help of a few people that came through the years. Through different trials and mistakes, a lot of trials and mistakes, I managed to create a fully functional off-grid village, a life of self-sustainability and self-sufficiency. When I first arrived, was abandoned, was a full-on bush, proper jungle. So there was a lot of work required in order to naturally develop it to this stage. And this is exactly what I'm going to show you in this channel. Not necessarily the end result, but the whole process that led to this stage. So we did a call out on social media to see who was interested in coming. We needed somebody with at least a minimum of experience because we needed to have a support in this, at least an experience in a rural context. And this little experience would bring such a huge amount of help that even though it was not necessarily in building or in Herbeck's building, was definitely enough in order to bring a sort of a work ethic and pace. And a bunch of people reached out for this position. And most of these people were coming from a Western context, mainly Europe, but also some in the States. And I was incredibly shocked to see most of these people never ever even farmed or built or been in a rural context whatsoever. That was very shocking to see where this modern world is leading us as a collective. Very far away from our natural origin of being in contact with the soil. Like literally most of the people, the closer contact with the soil that they had was going to the parks or maybe going for hikes, yet so far away from a life that is grounded to earth. And it's understandable. This is the settings of these modern times. It's the setting of these modern cities that are going further and further from our origin, from our roots. We need to have about 6 people more, so about like 8 of us. But we found a couple of people, but the whole project itself was not doable with this number. I just instinctively redimensioned the whole project, and instead of going for other domes, still building very important structures. They were not sleepy rooms, but they were water collectors. During the heavy rains, a lot of streams are formed in the land, and the water just runs out of the land. So I wanted to actually collect this water so that water could be more abundant in the land. So the people came, and for roughly a month, I created this project, this swimming pond that I started with them. We were digging and then eventually working with Urbex in order to place it together, and also finishing up the toilet that we started during the retreat programs. So overall, it was a nice experience, also an incredible learning experience for myself. For the first time living kind of 24/7 with a group of people in this very land was such a new experience for me. I must say, when I first came here, there was always the thought of living in a sort of community. That one was for me, I believe, a little test to see how that could look like. I learned a lot about my own boundaries, actually. And also, I must say, after that experience, I was very much in urge to go back into my solitude. One thing about solitude is that it's rough. But in the meantime, once you feel how peaceful it is, it becomes quite hard to live with people. Long story short. Not that I was not willing, I was very willing, but after that experience was beautiful, I felt it, I embraced it, and then I was very willing to go back into my solitude and to re-embrace the harmony of this. So yeah, the alone time came back, and by the time the rainy season came back, and I decided to invest it into growing a next level garden. So far, I grew a lot of food that was like kind of seasonal, but I was willing right now to grow trees. Trees, I think, are one of the most impact crops that we can plant on our planet, because of course they can last for years. Some of them can last for hundreds of years, giving thousands of fruits and also thousands of seeds, feeding hundreds if not thousands of people for who knows how many decades of generation. So I think it's a very big statement, and I felt that I was grounded enough in this land in order to drop that statement. And I was really willing to create a forest that was providing food everywhere. Mangoes, avocados, neem, coconut, different types of mangoes, orange, lemon, lime, jackfruit, papaya, and then also dropping some more seasonal seeds as veggies, as okras again, as tomatoes, as pepper, as ginger, groundnuts, and a few other crops. So it didn't take long actually for them to start growing. The rainy season was actually very heavy and very beautiful, also because for the first time I could experience a rainy season while I was having a house, and that was so cozy. It was so cozy just to be here, and the rain was dropping. I was not necessarily soaking wet or surrounded by humidity. I was in a nice cozy place, hearing the sounds of the rain, seeing literally with my eyes the crop literally growing day after day. It grew so immensely that it didn't take me long before starting to harvest that huge okra, those groundnuts, the tomatoes, so many tomatoes. There was so much that I could even consume all of it. So generally I do 30%, of course, just goes down to the ground and feeds the living beings of this land, as microorganisms, as insects, as the chickens. And by the way, by this time also chickens were here, also sheep were here. So I brought also the farming level to the next point, mainly because their defecation give a lot of fertilizer to the land. So in order to also play more with the regenerative system. The tomatoes, for example, were so many that I needed to start to learn how to preserve them, because otherwise 70% that I wanted to consume myself was just getting spoiled. So with some of the tomatoes, I made tomato paste that I ate after a month. I dry some of these tomatoes and then place it under oil, and which can last for months, if not years. I was eating some nice meals directly from the land, this time next level meals, like literally so satisfying meals.
There's a rainbow up in the sky, shining bright. There's a rainbow up in the sky.
So with this, I was definitely ready to drop this new upcoming workshop. I made 3 dates. It was in August, October, and December. Each of these workshops was lasting for 10 days. At this time, the programs were banging. The professionality was definitely on the next level for sure. Auntie Emma was dropping, of course, her food still, but also her herbal medicine workshop. They were like literally banging. Auntie Dora, which was the chief wife, was handling the pottery workshop, and she's been so professional and so good in teaching, like so many beautiful classes that she dropped. Myself sharing about natural building, that by then I was very much on top of my game, I must say. Also sharing about self-sustainable gardens and which crop can work in which ways, and how to produce also your own food from the crop that you're growing. And also the cacao workshop, I brought it to the next level. So here people generally having the knowledge from harvesting to beans. But as for me, I brought it further thanks to the experience that I had in Samoa with my Samoan family a long time ago. They taught me how to do coco Samoa, which is a cocoa drink. Through some experiences and trials here and there, I managed to transform the coco Samoa into a legit cocoa bar. A cocoa fruits into a bar with no machine, from scratch. It was a whole beautiful vibe that definitely we gained all a lot from. I guess the guests, they gain a lot from a lot of knowledge, and especially a lifetime experience. I remember also seeing guests leaving this land in tears, and I was like, wow, The power of this land is so incredible. Guests is actually asking me if they could stay longer. And myself, definitely I gained a lot in exchange, in a human exchange. Also, Auntie Dora or Auntie Emma, as elderly women with this ancient knowledge, I believe they got completely re-empowered by their own skills. But literally they re-empowered themselves with their own skills by seeing also people from the West. Then of course everybody here generally would have the notion that the West is the best. Then they saw people coming from the West and learning from them. And this was, I believe, such a beautiful process that empowered us all, also monetarily. We all got empowered from it, and I give thanks,
There's a rainbow up in the sky, shining bright. There's a rainbow up in the sky.
Today I'm going to show you how to make a simple yet efficient oven simply by digging the soil. Haha, let's go. I start clearing up the area and then I start to dig the first hole where the baking will take place. Then I start to dig the second hole where the oxygen will come from. I create a tunnel in order to connect the two, and here we have it. I'm gonna add some bricks that are already baked, but this is more optional. It's just to keep the oven tighter and also a little bit warmer. I'm turning on the fire and I'm gonna let it burn. In the meantime, I'm going to harvest some of the cocoyam that I've been growing, slice it, self-made chili oil, curry powder, salt, and mix it all. Now that the fire calmed down, I'm gonna adjust it on the side and place the tray in the middle. Cover everything up with rocks, banana leaves, and I'm going to let the magic happen. After a couple of hours, boom, baked chips from a self-made oven. Ooh, crunchy, tasty. Only one thing to say, another banger. Today I'm going to show you how I make my natural candy from scratch with no additive sugar with banana. Let's go. I'm cutting the banana from this freshly harvested basket, chop them in relatively thick pieces, and then once everything is ready, we're going outside to bring these beautiful bananas on the drying table. I leave everything to dry for a few days and then boom, everything is nice and dry. The bananas by now definitely shrink a lot in dimension, yet the taste, it became apparently even sweeter. It's time to jar everything up and boom, a self-made bananas candy. Wow! It's even sweeter than the banana itself. Awesome way to preserve food, to preserve bananas, keep them longer, eat them all year round, and have them even tastier. Can you imagine? Bananas candy. Another banger indeed. Today I'm gonna show you how I'm making my soya milk from scratch without machine. Let's go. I soak the beans overnight so they become nice and soft, and then I give it a nice wash. I take the holy mortar and I start to pound. Hey, guess who's here? Asanka is in the building. I smash everything properly and place it back in the pot. Hey, make sure your hands are clean. Then I sieve it all from a nice net. I pour everything inside the pot, and whatever is left over, I will give it to the chicken. I will squeeze a couple of lemons, and I will have in two pots, one for the soya milk, another one for the tofu. The soya milk I need to keep on stirring, otherwise that thing will explode. As for the tofu, I will keep on sprinkling lemon juice so that the foam will solidify. I sieve the milk, I drain the tofu, and then I place the milk back on the fire, place some jaggery, cinnamon, cardamom, and check this out. Hey! Now that the tofu has been drained and compacted, check this out. Solid, and boom! Soya milk and tofu from scratch. Ay! Another banger!
Africa, channeling wealth to good use.